safe to say that pretty much everybody in the world enjoys music. Even if they don't consider themselves a musician or play an instrument, people enjoy listening to music every day, whether it's to pass the time or use as background noise while at a party. We can safely assume humans enjoy music because it's fun, relaxing, and enjoyable. But is there a deeper biological reason to why we enjoy music so much? Well, we don't know for sure, but we do have several excellent theories. Let's talk about why humans are musical and what biological purpose music serves. Throughout this video, keep in mind the basic needs for humans to survive. We need food to eat, overall good health, and a way to propagate the species. Now, back in the Ice Age days when we were just busy trying to survive and not getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, why on earth did we take the time to make musical instruments? Music must have helped us fulfill the three basic needs of survival. How, you ask? Let's explore just how music helps us meet our basic needs of survival. Our first piece of evidence is rhythm. Rhythm is one of the most basic elements of music, but it's also basic to our functioning and survival as human beings. Think about it. Every aspect of living that we consider to be our needs is based off of rhythm. Look at our heart rate, respiration rate, circadian rhythm, hunger, our body temperature, speech, even brainwaves and hormones. All of our basic needs follow a rhythm. We need rhythm. In fact, we can quite literally die without rhythm. If we don't follow our eating and drinking patterns, we become sick and would eventually starve. Or take a look at arrhythmia. Irregular beating of the heart can lead to a heart attack. And finally, if we didn't have hormonal cycles, how would we pass on our genes? Rhythm is important and essential for survival. Our next piece of evidence has to do with biochemical responses. Music has an inevitable effect on our biochemical responses in our bodies. When we listen to music we like, our stress levels tend to decrease. Consequently, we experience an increase in dopamine levels, which is the pleasure chemical in our brains. And our brains love dopamine. We also experience an improved immune system, which keeps us alive and healthy, and more likely to pass on our genes. The next piece of evidence is everybody has a need for expression. When we listen to music we like, we reach what's called an optimal level of arousal. And this can be explained by drawing a simple graph. Activation, or enjoyment, on one axis, while arousal is on the other. This optimal level of arousal is reached when there's just enough familiarity with just enough novelty music we listen to. However, too much novelty and not enough familiarity, we start to dislike the music. When you listen to your favorite song, you sit right at the top of the curve. Now, why does this graph matter? Well, when we reach our optimal level of arousal, regulatory functions in our brains become activated, causing us to become balanced, function at our best, and interact successfully in our environments. When we look further, love is what drives our species forward, and fear keeps us alive. However, emotions are not useful when they aren't regulated because we experience disorders like depression. Music helps us regulate our emotions and maintain a healthy balance of neurotransmitters. Our next piece of evidence is disorders. Music is so central to being human in everyday life. We've identified disorders for people who lack certain musical abilities. For example, amusia is a disorder characterized by an inability to process pitches. So somebody with amusia wouldn't be able to tell whether this pitch or this pitch are the same or different. Having disorders for people who lack certain musical abilities suggests evidence that music does serve a biological purpose for humans. Our next piece of evidence is social organization. Music has been a part of every culture across all times, and traits that are shared among all people, like music, suggest evidence for biological purposes rather than cultural. In prehistoric times, music helped create social cohesion among groups and allowed the human species to survive and thrive. For example, music has been used to help alert when danger is near, keeping people safe from harm. Each culture has its own celebrations and rituals, and even when you think about your own culture, it's hard to come up with traditions that don't use music. Think about the Olympics when the winner's national anthem is played during the award ceremony, singing happy birthday at a birthday party, or using music at a wedding. We must have social cohesion if we wish to pass along our culture to future generations. Our final piece of evidence actually has to do with babies. Music has survival benefits starting with the littlest of humans. And one of the very first things babies learn in this world is love, and therefore they are nurtured by love. Look at all the ways music helps parents bond with their infants. Singing lullabies and rhythmically rocking babies are used to soothe them to sleep, helping them to grow and stay healthy. Learning how to suck and get food is also rhythmically based. Music is important even when we talk to babies. Now when we say, "Oh, what a cute little baby," we're using infant-directed speech. We are changing the pitch, timbre, volume, and rhythm of our speech to show emotion towards the baby. It's these musical aspects of infant-directed speech that helps babies feel loved and bond with their parents. Now we can relate all this back to our basic human need, which is to pass on our genes and propagate the species. Our babies can now grow into full adults and start the cycle over. So, why are we musical? Does music exist solely for our entertainment and enjoyment, or does it serve us biological purposes and propel our species forward? Well, there's no way for us to know for sure, but we have several excellent theories.